Hi, this is Dr. Kimberley Linert, and you're listening to Incredible Life Creator Podcast. My guest today is Isabel Donadio. Isabel Donadio is the founder of Talent Support Services, the owner of Top Talent Publishing, the best-selling author of Finishing is Happiness, 7 Ways Big Idea Entrepreneurs Can Become Big Business Finishers, and Becoming Significant, How to Invoke Sacred Words That Unlock Real Power, editor-in-chief of Top Talent Magazine, and the winner of the 2019 TWC Most Outstanding Rising Star Award. Deserving of any top 30 under 30 list, Isabel specializes in supporting and promoting expert authors and speakers all over the world. Her experience includes everything from red carpet interviewing, event planning, social media marketing, bestseller campaigning, and public speaking. The bottom line, Isabel has a talent for making her clients look good and allowing them to focus on the things they love most about their business. Welcome to the podcast, Isabel.
Thank you so much for having me, Kimberly. I'm really excited to be here.
Yeah, and I was commenting earlier about the red wall behind you. I thought that has to be an exciting bedroom to have a red wall in it. So,
Oh yeah, it's definitely a power color. You wake up and you're definitely energized and ready to go about the day.
uh-huh. Yeah, great. So just so people can get to know you, why don't you tell us a little bit about your story and where you started out?
Yeah, so I started out in a small city called Menifee out in California. And for those of you who don't know where that is, if you know where Temecula or Lake Elsinore is at, it's about 15 minutes from there off the 215. And I started out actually as a makeup artist, a little known fact. I did makeup at a studio called the Hollywood Entrepreneur, along as a few other photo shoot sets. And I just loved hearing the people's stories. I didn't really care so much about makeup, although I did enjoy, playing with people's faces and making them look pretty. But I loved hearing how they got started, and similar to what you're doing, Kimberly, and just discovering and unfolding the different pivotal points in their lives. And I realized that I wanted more for myself. I just didn't really know how to go about that. And people who came across in my chair were people like James Dentley, Les Brown, Alison Larson, David T. Fagan. And they would just tell me just different snippets of their life. And I wanted to know more. And so I essentially quit doing makeup. I quit doing that. I studied that for a very long time to get my license. And I decided to quit that and dive into this world of being an entrepreneur. I had to actually Google what entrepreneur meant. And I haven't regretted a single moment since. And at this point now, I'm the host of an amazing online Top Talent JV Mastermind event, and I'm the bestseller of Finishing is Happiness. And I just finished another book called Becoming Significant that I finished with my husband, David Fagan. So life has been an amazing journey, and there's still more yet to come that I'm excited about.
Wow. So how did you jump from makeup artist to entrepreneur?
So I started working alongside David Fagan. I had my own business, he had his own business, and we joint ventured on a lot of projects. So I still technically did some makeup, but I did a lot of the behind the scenes work like event production, project management, and really any job I could get to really listen in and be a fly on the wall in these discussions and meetings and discovery calls so I can really get my feet wet. So when I had conversations with other people, I already had that kind of echoing experience. And that went on for a couple of years. And I really developed my business, the Top Talent Support Services, and going on 3 years now, and it's a $500,000 business. And just how that occurred step by step was almost divine happening. Just a lot of pieces had to fall in the right place and the right discussions had to be had. But without having my mentors, without having that previous experience of just listening in and just really being a good student, contributed to who I am today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and then you said you were working with David, but now you're a couple. So, how did all that happen?
So we just continue to joint venture on a lot of different things, and how things go, you still follow the same circles, you have more conversations, and then conversations become more in-depth conversations. And before you know it, you're getting asked out on a date. There's a funny story to that, actually, of our first date, where I haven't actually told the story yet, so I hope I don't get in too much trouble. And David, if you're listening to this after the fact, I'm sorry. He had texted me. He was going to have some clients out on a boat. And instead of texting me in a group text, I thought he was asking me out on his boat individually. And at the time, I didn't really know what I wanted to do just yet. The entrepreneur bug hadn't bit me yet. And so I declined. I told him no. But later on, because we were still working alongside each other, I just followed up saying, hey, I'm so sorry. I just don't really know where I am right now. And then he clarified, he was actually texting me about a work thing. So embarrassed, I said, oh, okay, well, will you ask me out again? and luckily he did. And we just had an amazing time. Went to a movie, went to dinner, and it was just an incredible experience. And just as time continued to go on, I just really fell in love with the man behind the myth and the idol that people have seen him as. And it has just been an amazing roller coaster of a ride of a relationship. We still have our own businesses, but everything just truly overlaps. And so we're stronger together than we are apart.
Oh, that's wonderful. So when you were starting your entrepreneurial business, where did you decide to start? Like, did you see a hole in the market where something was needed and you say, I'm going to fill that spot?
Absolutely. So a lot of the people that came across my chair that I was having conversations with, they were starters. They were the go-getters. They were the, I have an idea. I'm going to round up my team. We're going to get this thing started. And then they would have another great idea. And they were like, yes, I'm all for this thing. Let's get it started. And then another idea and another idea. And what tends to happen to amazing individuals, no matter how great of a team they have, if you don't have a finisher, me, on your team, then projects will not get done. Or they will be very slow to be getting finished because so many new things are getting started. So a philosophy that we live by is, for something new to live, something old must die, or doing proper delegation to really make sure you're maximizing your team and your time to really make sure that things are getting done. And so I am the finisher.
Mm-hmm. So how is it that you tie up all the ends and keep everything alive and going?
I fully understand the strengths and weaknesses of different team members, and also to having constant communication of their bandwidth. So I have a team of about 7 people at max. And what I'll do every day is just text them in the morning saying, hey, how are you doing? What's your bandwidth? Are these projects getting done? We have a system called Basecamp where I'll actually go in and put in to-dos, and then when they're done, they'll mark it complete, and I'll get an email notification saying that it's done, saying, okay, I'll review that. There's tweaks that needs to be made, we'll apply that. So we do book publishing, we do website creation for clients. We have our Top Talent JV Mastermind that we do. So there's always something that constantly needs to be worked on and tweaked and made more complete. And so that's a lot of what I do in understanding strengths and weaknesses, but also bandwidth.
Right. So it sounds like you're the enforcer or the person that makes everyone accountable. In other words, they're all excited, but if you're all excited but you're not acting or you're not doing or you're not completing, then you're not going to get anywhere.
Exactly. Yeah. So David is the idea creator, he's the motivator, and I'm definitely implementer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you showed me that very quickly here when your name was different on the screen, and like within 1 second you would change. It's like, oh boy, she's technical. She can get things done.
Yes.
That is so exciting. So, who are some of the people that you have met throughout your journey that they just made a huge impact on your life, or they said something that just helped you change the way you thought of things?
One person in particular is Alison Larson. I had known her when I was still doing just makeup, and so she's definitely seen my evolution, and I've heard her speak a few times. But something that she has said in the past that just really had an impact with me was, if you're trying to find opportunities and you're just and every time you meet someone new, you're just kind of clawing at them, just trying to get things from them, then opportunities will be far and few and in between. But if you're just present and you share your experience and you share of yourself and you're a giver, not so much of a taker, then more opportunities will come your way. And I didn't really understand that in the beginning, but definitely as the years have gone by and all the different conversations I've had and the clients that have been successful for us has definitely rung true for me. And I've always been very present, but it also is very helpful to remember when I am having these conversations with others and I see that behavior of them just being takers and not so much givers. And so I'm also able to really protect not only myself, but also my connections and my clients.
Yeah, and talking about opportunities, there's so many opportunities that come our way. Some of them, they look so great. And I'm learning personally to just stay in my lane. I just have to stay in my lane. Doesn't matter how exciting that looks like, or that would be interesting. So when you're choosing the opportunities, all these possibilities that are coming into you, how do you choose which ones that you stay with and which ones you say you're going to pass by?
The best way to decide that is what I currently have on my own table. So even though I do delegation to my team and I'm listening to my clients and making sure that things are getting done, the best way I can decide where to move forward at is checking in with myself and my own bandwidth, because there's only 24 hours in a day, but I'm only awake for maybe 16 of those hours. So I can't, really create more than 24 hours in a day. So I make sure that the things that are a priority to me are getting done. A priority to me is my business. Is it flowing well? Are my team members having things that that they need to do? Is my husband happy? Am I able to really be there for him and be present as a wife? For my stepkids, am I able to be there as a mom? Am I able to pick them up from school, take them to their practices, take them to appointments if they have them? Those things are the most prioritizing for me. And then everything else is just a cherry on top.
Wonderful. Now, I know you help clients with all sorts of things, one of them being becoming authors or writing their own book. So, why would an entrepreneur want to write a book?
Best way I can describe why you need to write a book is how you want to leave your legacy or share your message. Can you just have a video up on YouTube? Sure. Can you make a post every now and then on social media? Yeah. Can you send an email blast out to your contacts? Absolutely. But the best way to truly embody your message and to share your knowledge is with a book. And if you're an entrepreneur and a business owner and you're writing a book, then there's different ways you can monetize and truly leverage it. You can have each chapter become a course. You can have each chapter be an email blast to truly attract the clients that you want to serve, that you are trying to serve. So a book isn't really just words on a page. It's you sharing who you are at that present moment and truly making an impact in someone's life. We had a client named Jeanette Kreitner, who is the founder of Grandma's House of Hope. Growing up, she was abused in her home. She was homeless with a child on the streets. She was taken in by her now husband, and together they founded Grandma's House of Hope, which is a shelter for women who have been abused, who have nowhere else to go. We did her book launch with actor Dylan McDermott, and it became a #1 bestseller. There's also a fun story about that event as well, but we can talk about it later on. But a book isn't just something to do. It's something that you're sharing because you know how impactful it is.
I love that. I really love that. So you also work with people in their publicity, speaking. What's the most important thing people need to know if they want to be a speaker, or if they're a speaker? Do they need an agent? Can they just go out on their own and speak? What are some of the things that really help speakers become influencers?
So the biggest thing to help people become a speaker in the entrepreneurial and business world and networking circles is to really develop your relationships with event producers like myself. We are always looking for new speakers out there, new blood, because sometimes you will hear the same speaker multiple times and you'll want to hear someone new. So definitely developing your relationships is one thing. Something else too is having a full bio. And what I mean by that is whether you've been in your business for a year or 10 years, having a full bio, sharing your experiences, even, name dropping a couple of clients, because in your bio, you're not bragging. Saying, oh yeah, I did this, I got a Nobel Prize. Oh, I did this and I got featured in Forbes.
Mhm.
You're applying for a job. Every opportunity is an opportunity for you to find that client that you have been dying to serve. And so developing your relationships, having a full bio. And the last thing is having a succinct message and call to action. Who are you and what is it that you want the audience to do?
Mhm. So when people go out and speak, are they always doing that same message every time, or are they changing their message?
So the best speakers are adapters, finding out who the audience is and adapting your message. If I'm speaking at a jewelry convention, then as a woman business owner, I'm going to leverage that in the conversation. If I'm talking to a room full of speakers, I'm going to talk about the speaking opportunities that I may have for them and the book publishing industry that I own. So there's different ways that I can have the same conversation that is bragging about what I do because I'm applying for a job. I want people in the audience to say, I want to work with them because they're the expert that I've been looking to have help me do XYZ project.
Mhm. Yeah, and back to book publishing and your publishing company. So I kind of learned the hard way with my book, I piecemealed it. I had this person do the cover and this person do the editing, and this got very expensive. Just the
Yes.
inexperience of it. So, would you recommend that most people just kind of do everything with one company? And, I know even some companies that you can just kind of put your ideas on an audio and they can actually write it for you or help you out. So, what is your experience in that?
Yeah, so my recommendation is always to try to keep everything with one company if they do all these things. So my company, you can even go to toptalentpublishing.com. We have everything in-house. We do everything from book cover creation, discovery calls, ghost writing, where someone will interview you or take your audio recordings, transcribe it, and turn it into chapters. We have editors, we have formatters. We do Amazon bestseller campaigns where I have cracked the code where instead of only applying for 2 categories to get number 1 in, I can apply you up to 10. So you have multiple opportunities to becoming a best-selling author. We also help you convert it from an ebook to going into print for paperback or hardback and creating dust covers. So we do everything in-house. So we're not the cheapest, but we're also not the most expensive. But that is my absolute recommendation, is that if you are a first-time author or a serial author and you're bouncing around to different publishers, is try to work with a company that'll keep everything in-house, because that'll definitely help with the costs.
Mhm. Yeah. And is book writing a book, is that something people do to actually create income, or is it just something you just use as a calling card or to share?
Depends on what it is that you're looking to truly utilize the book in. Because we work with a lot of business owners and entrepreneurs, naturally what comes with it is the leveraging. So if they have a personal website or they're having their own event that they're hosting and they want more opt-ins, they want more people to be interested in what they're offering, saying, hey, just put in your name and your email and I'll send you the first 5 chapters, the first 40 pages of my book. What we also do for our clients is that when they're done with it, we can help them turn it into a course. So each chapter will add self-assessment questions, we'll add interactive videos, we'll turn it into a way so that way you can see where your students are going through your course. So you can really see what needs improving in your course, or you can have more of a conversation the next time that you're in communication with them.
Beautiful. So talk about your events. Is your mastermind the same as your events, or there's two different things?
So we host the toptalentspeaks.com, which is formerly the Speaker Media Mastery, where we specifically trained on developing your presentation, getting ready for the media. So that's one event that we do. The main one that we do every 10 weeks called the Top Talent JV Mastermind, or toptalentjv.com. And that is where we'll have anywhere from 150 to 300 people attend for a 3-day event from all over the world. And they come to hear speakers that speak no more than 10 minutes during the event. And then they'll participate in 45 to 60 minute breakout groups where you're sharing who you are, but we ask you to share specific details. What are you struggling with? What is something that is working for you? What is something that's not working for you? Is there any advice in particular that you're looking for? And even if the person inside of the group isn't that direct connection for you, they may know someone.
Mhm.
So follow-up is definitely key when it comes to that. But our Top Talent JV event is where a lot of people come from all over the world to share their insight and to gain insight.
Mhm. Now, do a lot of the same people keep coming back to that every few weeks, or is it always different people coming into the groups?
We do have these serial champions that come to our event every single time. But yes, every time you come, you will see a good percentage of people that you have never met before. And I love that. It's new opportunities for me to hear new stories. It's new opportunities to learn different lessons that someone has learned. I'm also a tech geek,
Mhm.
which I've realized this last few years. But I love hearing the different technology that people are using to help their business, but also technology that they're avoiding for specific reasons. And it's like, oh, tell me why. I love to have that conversation with you. So it's a new event every time, even though we have the same flow and format that has brought just a lot of success, not just for us and not just for our clients, but for the people that also come to the event as well.
Mhm. And when you're working with people, how do you help them reach their highest potential or just bring out the best in people?
The best way we do that is having one-on-one conversations with them. We'll call them strategy sessions, in which honestly, the first session that we really have with them is them just kind of sharing their whole life, wherever they want to start. Similar to how we started this conversation of just where were you at in your life? Where was that pivotal moment? Why do you do what you do? Who is your ideal audience that you're trying to serve? And then from there, we really customize the conversation. So if we're building a website, if we're doing a book, developing a course, if there's something specific that we're working on, we can really mold it to what it is that they're trying to accomplish.
Mhm. Wow. So if people actually wanted to work with you, you have mentioned a few times, but let's just put it all together in this little spot here on the recording. Um, how do they get a hold of you? And just kind of tell us the services that you have available now, just all together in a summary.
Yeah, so you can email me at isabel@toptalentjv.com. And the different services that we offer are publishing, publicity, and presentations. We're able to truly help you maximize your knowledge, your wisdom, and your expertise into a singular message to help you reach that ideal audience that you are waking up every day to serve.
Mhm. Thank you. Thank you. And just a personal question. What gives you the most happiness and fulfillment in your life?
Whether it's for my family or for my clients, seeing that aha moment when something clicks and they realize, oh, this is working, seeing that light go off because I saw it in myself in my journey and I continue to see it.
Mhm.
When I see it reflected in someone else's eyes, it just fills me with so much joy that I can't wait for the next day. I can't wait for the next conversation because I know that I'm going to see that again.
Mhm. That's beautiful. Thank you. And thank you so much for being on the podcast today and for all the information you've shared. And I'm sure there's people out there who can use that and hopefully they'll come and see you and especially people who want to be authors and speakers. So one last question before we complete. What is your best advice for living an incredible, amazing life?
This took me a while to figure out. But the best advice I can give is don't let your fear of the unknown or the fear of I'm not going to make it keep you from trying.
I love that. Thank you so much, Isabel.
Thank you so much, Kimberly. I really enjoyed this conversation. And for you that's listening right now, stay fabulous. Keep going because you're going to make a fantastic impact in someone's life.
Thank you so much. We'll talk to you again soon.
Bye.